Welcome into Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. We're doing another nerd therapy, and it's very action movie oriented, like classics like Schwarzenegger and maybe even Jason Statham. Not only classics, we're still doing modern. We'll talk about some John Wick and this and that, but it's going to be a fun one. We still got some Marvel and Star Wars stuff to talk about too, and then we're going to start out with a really fun heist, and we're going to build a team to accomplish this heist, and we'll lay out the context for that. That one's really excited to hear. Love's team. I have a banger of a team. Before we get into that, we are at Why So Sidious Pod. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. Live on YouTube right now. And we've been covering Andor, The Last of Us. We have been covering nerd news. We did our Thunderbolts review, and we have some comics coming out. Andy from the Galactic Core podcast, who we've collaborated with in the past, is coming on for a Superman comic review. It'll be Secret Origins by Jeff Johns and Luther by Brian Azzarello, getting us prepped for that Superman movie. We loved that trailer, by the way. And that wraps it up for intro talk. So for this heist, here's the context of this heist. The crew will have 7 people. Number 1, Van Tech guy. Number 2, distraction. Number 3, vault. Number 4, Brute. Number 5, the Sneaker. Number 6, the Mastermind. And number 7, of course, the Getaway Driver. And the context here is we need to steal very valuable information, the whole entire database of Elon Musk's mind, knowledge, files, research, development, everything. And it's on a flash drive. The only problem is it's in a safe in a mountain. And to get to that mountain, well, should I say to unlock the vault to that mountain, you have to drive a car-sized key into a lock in a mountain. The car is a specially designed Cybertruck. So we have to go into Elon Musk's property. We have to locate that property, get this Cybertruck, figure out which one out of the dozens that are in his garage are the key to this mountain. So we're going to have to do that, drive the whole key into that mountain, and then steal the little flash drive. It's all on this little flash drive. It's super convenient.
That's
anyway.
crazy.
That's crazy. This will be a movie coming out in 2045. There will be a sequel, and that'll be my team. But Lub's first, and who is your team for this heist?
No, you go first because I got my own little backstory. So this is yours.
Okay, fair enough. I like that. My apologies. Hosting's the worst. All right, this is the team.
Let's do it.
I hope it does good in your situation too. Anyway, my Van Tech guy is of course Rocket Raccoon.
The eyes behind you, who can just look after, just in case people are confused about it, who stays behind and fucking lets everyone know who's on the security cameras.
And who makes sure, like, all of your gear is going to work properly.
Right. That's a good choice.
Distraction, I got Black Widow.
Okay.
For the vault, and I asked for clearance on that, or clarifications.
Would she dress up like she did in Iron Man 2?
That's the point, man. She'll dress up in whatever she has to dress up into to make that distraction.
Elon Musk will be like, baby.
Oh, dude, that's easy. We'll have another kid. My vault lady, this is the one who's picking the lock, which, I mean, I didn't really apply it to my car lock thing. But anyway, the vault lady is Mystique. Doesn't have to be a lady, but mine is a lady. She's Mystique. Okay. My Brute is Swamp Thing. And you just can't convince me he will not, like, be the winning card in this whole thing. Okay. Sneaky is Ant-Man. Smart. Mastermind is Batman, and my Getaway Driver is Baby.
Baby?
Yeah.
From, what is that, Baby Driver?
Baby Driver.
I was gonna say, that's kind of cheating, but I like
Best in the universe.
No, that's true. Well, I looked it up, and someone said fucking Awkwafina from, she's Katie, right? From Shang-Chi.
Awkwafina, what is her actor name?
Yeah, that annoying.
I know who you're talking about,
Yeah. I was like, I don't think she was a very good driver, but apparently she is.
Crash.
But I like your team. A very wide range of characters. You have any villains? No villains, huh? All good guys?
No, because the first time you asked this question, my first thought is, where's Dr. Doom going? But I didn't put him anywhere.
Keep it topical. I like that. All right, so for my heist, we're going into the Vatican. So they've discovered a secret artifact that can change the world, and the weapon cannot be trusted in the hands of this secret organization that runs the world from the shadows. So the superheroes will have to breach the Vatican to go under the holy city. In the cover of darkness, they must navigate ancient traps confront Vatican black ops, and face moral dilemmas that blur the lines between faith, power, and justice. So it's gonna get crazy. It'll be there'll be like 4 of these, and the Pope will keep coming back every time. So for my Van Tech guy, I'm going with Nemec from Andor. Like, he wrote the manifesto for the rebellion. He knows what he's doing, and he will be perfect in that role. I picked Ant-Man for the distraction because I just picture Paul Rudd. Maybe he could walk in there, make a couple guys laugh, shrink down at the same time. That'd be a good distraction.
That's how the good guys won in Civil War, because he was the big distraction.
Right, exactly. And for my vault picker, I'm going with Ahsoka. I wanted to pick a Jedi because I feel like the Jedi could... I wanted to do Yoda at first, but I feel like he'd be too slow. But you need like someone who's a little bit quicker. So Ahsoka, she could like use the Force to like hear the sounds inside. That'd work.
And lightsabers, didn't they just melt the lock?
Yeah, that's true. So you just stick it straight through like a Qui-Gon. My brute is Drax. He might do something dumb. He might honestly get us in trouble in the Vatican, but in the end, since it's a hero's movie, he'll come back. My sneaker is Ghost. I mean, come on, Thunderbolts, Ghost. She can literally phase through walls. Like, she can, be invisible for a little bit. So I like that.
That's perfect.
My mastermind is Batman as well. I was going to pick Palpatine, but then I was like, nah, he might try and like screw everyone over at the end. I think Batman would have the best intentions for everyone.
Might as well choose the Joker.
Right. And then my getaway driver is Ultron. So he could like hack into the car or like, the street lights.
Yeah.
Other police cars, like he's
anything.
The perfect anything. Yeah, so Ultron.
That's a good one.
So I do have a couple villains on there, but I think we could do it together. Only one villain, Ultron. So everything will go well, and then it's up to Ultron to get him home safely.
Yeah, like how we created the context for it didn't matter, but that is fun. I just pictured Swamp Thing picking the mountain up. I forgot to mention, of course, when we steal the Cybertruck, the alarm goes off, so we got to make it to the mountain, but there's things coming after us. But Swamp Thing will literally pick that mountain up and bring it to us, so we're good.
No, Elon's shooting rockets at you from space. They're just coming down from the sky, exploding all around.
Wait, who's on my team? Rocket Raccoon has definitely guided defense missiles that are taking those down. So is Batman. He's up there freaking shooting shit with his
Wing?
The bat plane. Robin, drop the bat ladder.
Drop your bat pants.
Robin, remove your underwear immediately. Yeah. All right, sick.
That was fun. Yeah.
All right, real quick for Marvel, we have a nice little imagine a reality wear situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this, and I hope you have an answer. I need to think about it for a second. But a reality where Tony Stark got the super soldier serum, but Steve Rogers built the Iron Man suit. How would those stories change? That's a great question.
All right, I didn't write anything down. I just wanted to kind of go off the top. If Tony Stark got the super soldier serum, I don't think he would have the same fate as Captain America, Steve Rogers does. I think something might go bad for a time. I think he would, in the end, come back to being a hero, but there would definitely be a point in time where he's using it to his advantage too much, probably, leaning to the dark side a little bit.
Dude, he would totally use it to go mingling and just get girls. There would definitely be way more of that.
He peed in the Iron Man suit, so, he'd be doing some crazy stuff for sure.
Now, what if he's faced with the moment with the nuke and the Avengers? With that power with his suit, he would do the same thing, I think. Now, I know where this is a reality where he doesn't have a suit, but...
Well, he has a shield and, Captain America's suit.
Yeah, like his intentions are truly in the right place. His heart is truly in the right place. It's protect people, protect Pepper, protect humanity is his number one thing. So I think there would be like way more, how do you say it, like hedonistic use of his big muscular body.
Right.
But I think he would still be a hero for sure.
Yeah, what's the line? It like enhances the traits you already have.
Right.
So if you're bad, you're going to be even worse. If you're a little egotistical, you're going to be very egotistical. I mean, Tony Stark, to begin with, isn't very easy to get along with. So him, as like the big man on campus would probably be worse, but you'd have to just listen to him because he knows what he's doing.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't like the most personable. You can't really trust him and be a super close, great friend, but he does get stuff done for the world.
And how about skinny little Steve Rogers? So he never gets the serum, right? So he's still a little scrawny guy, but he gets his Iron Man suit. That would be kind of cool, actually.
If it's the equal tech, I think he's a way, way, way better Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
With a military background, especially like a trenches, boots on the ground military, as whitewashed as it is on the Marvel big screen. Like that's a history of a man who's seen war. So get him in an Iron Man suit. I think he's tactical as hell, lethal as hell.
He probably sides with the government.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean,
you don't think he'd give the tech over when they were asking
giving
for
the
it?
tech over is another question. I'm just thinking of the Civil War. As soon as you start signing him over to the government as like a tool, like they wanted to do with Sokovia Accords. But giving the Iron Man suit over to the government in the first place, you're probably right about that, because he's like working. He's a soldier. He's working for them.
Right. That wouldn't end well.
Tony was always working for himself. Yeah.
So that was kind of the benefit of Tony being Iron Man, is Captain America would probably give the military 1,000 Iron Man suits, and then they'd just be out there annihilating everyone.
Yeah, his self-centeredness, one of his flaws in an overall picture of like he is a hero, but one of his flaws is self-centeredness is actually what kept the Iron Man suit away from the hands of the government, which is kind of poetic.
Right, yeah.
I love it. Breaking it down here on Why So Sidious, getting it all figured out. That's why it's called nerd therapy, baby. We just talk it out and figure it out.
Yeah, baby.
Baby. Hell yeah. All right. Now we have a mysterious topic of Lub's choosing. Well, the last one was Lub's choosing too, so was the heist. He's the mastermind. He's the Batman behind our heist. Next, we have something called Team Tom versus Team Chris. We'll see what this is about.
So this is a quick little Nerd Octagon style question. So we have Team Tom versus Team Chris. So Team Tom will be Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Tom Hardy's Venom, and Tom Hiddleston's Loki.
That's genius.
Versus Chris Evans' Captain America,
Chris Hemsworth,
Chris Pratt's Star-Lord, and Chris Hemsworth's Thor. So you have Cap, Star-Lord, and Thor versus Spider-Man, Loki, and Venom. Who wins?
I gotta give it to Thor. With Captain America's leadership, Loki will fool Thor, but Loki probably won't fool... Did I tongue twist something? Loki will not fool Captain America.
Right. Like he would Thor.
But Thor destroys Spider-Man and Venom. Chris Pratt, is a good enough distraction with his guns. He's really resourceful and tricky and cunning. Yeah, dude, I got the Thor team.
Well, really, you'd have to do like Cap versus Spider-Man, Venom versus Star-Lord, and Loki versus Thor. So you think Thor takes Loki, right? And then Star-Lord and Venom, who wins that one?
Well, yeah.
Probably Venom, right?
But Venom, yeah.
And then you have Spider-Man and Cap. Probably Spider-Man, right? If it was just like that, if you did it that way.
Yeah, but look at Civil War. I mean, Cap...
Right.
But he was very new. Spider-Man was very, very new. He's stronger than Cap. He's more agile than Cap. His webs are more versatile. You got to take Spider-Man in a real fight. Peak Spider-Man.
Yeah. But you're underestimating Spider-Man and Venom together.
You're underestimating Thor, dude. Thor will not get stopped.
Loki's a god.
That's a thing, but...
What if it's like Tree of Loki just controlling shit from another reality?
That's why gypsies are such wild cards. That's why they're called gypsies. You just never know. Yeah, if Loki, because Loki could just freaking...
No, it has to be like physical form.
Nothing has ever worked. Nothing has ever worked like to shut Thor down as far as Loki goes. Thor always wins. Loki's done, dude, and then he's on to Venom.
He could fake his death.
I know, but see, it's just the gypsy shit.
And Thor could be like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that."
He will read a tarot card that says, "I won." Tarot card? How do you say it? You would know that kind of thing. Just kidding.
I know which.
No, I think quartz crystals are cool, man. If it doesn't bring energy into my house, it still looks really cool.
Right.
Amethyst, amazing.
So yeah, cool. We're split on it, but it would be a good battle.
Would you take Team Tom?
I think I would, dude, because I think Spider-Man and Venom. I think Venom could put his venom around him. Spider-Man with some webs. Loki comes up with the scepter.
Especially after like the whole Odin Force, Thor Force, I don't need my hammer kind of guy nowadays. He would just I don't know.
No,
do some Dragon Ball Z blast out of all the venom goo, and you can't even hurt him. At what point do they defeat him though? At what point do they actually knock him out?
But how quickly do Cap and Star-Lord get fucking annihilated, and then it's 3-on-1?
I would still take Thor.
Okay, shit. Okay. I mean, he is like the most powerful Avenger.
Yeah, he's like Thor, Hulk, Superman are kind of the guys. Did you ever watch One Punch Man? Because Goku's on that list too, but so is Saitama from One Punch Man. It's only
Okay.
1 or 2 seasons. Really good anime. But that wraps it up for Marvel. Let's move on to Star Wars, and then we'll get into all the crazy action movie talk. I mean, we're talking way back to the Schwarzenegger days. So anyway, before we get there, some Star Wars. What do we got, Lub?
Let's do another hypothetical real fast. So you have to survive 48 hours during Order 66. Where do you hide and who do you trust? Don't pick a planet don't just say like some random ass planet no one's on. Try and pick a main planet that people were located on at least, but I wouldn't pick Coruscant, that's for sure.
Right. So I want to pick the planet that they went to on Force Awakens when they met the shorter lady with the big glasses that looked into Finn's soul.
Yeah.
You know, I'm drawn to the mountains, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where you're going to find food you could supply yourself with. You can camp. You could find a cave for the rain. You know, you could survive out in the wilderness. So
That's
I'm going to
true.
go ahead and pick that planet. Is like everyone alive? What era is this?
It's it's Order 66.
Order 66. Oh. Well, no, I'm going to Dagobah. I'm going to Dagobah with Yoda. He was clearly peaceful the whole time. I'm going to Dagobah. I trust Yoda. Easy. Yeah. Yeah.
It's Takodana. That's the planet you're thinking of.
Oh, nice.
Dagobah? Huh. A little boring. So you and Yoda are gonna go there together, and that's basically who you're trusting.
Now that you put it like that, I guess
you gotta go.
Life.
You have to hang out with Yoda for the rest of the time.
Literally my life. We saw how crazy he got.
He gets crazy quick,
and then just dies. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna go with Teotihuacan or wherever you said that was, because I would like to at least have a fulfilling life, looking for elk to hunt.
Yeah.
And not that I say I do not enjoy killing animals, but that'll, the spiritual circle of feeding your family that way.
Mm-hmm.
The hunt, man, good healthy meat.
And
but then, campfires, stories. Hopefully they got some certain type of plants growing out there in the wild.
Well, you're safe there for 20 years till, Kylo shows up and, blows up the whole castle and everything. So you got a good 20 years, and maybe Maz will kind of tease a story for another day, and then keep teasing that story for another day, and then never kind of get to it.
Yeah, and it's like the perfect blend. You have the outdoor scene, but then you have a really nice downtown where you can get some good drinks and hear some good live music, like right outside the forest. Perfect. And there's a beach right there, too. It's like a big lake. Whew, it's a beautiful area.
I made my choice. I'm following Obi-Wan to Mustafar, and I'm just going to watch him and Anakin duel, maybe help Padme back to the ship, and then just, sail off with Obi-Wan afterwards.
You'll die. Someone will kill you. It's a hostile
He's
area.
got my back. He's got my back.
Okay, yeah, Obi-Wan's got you.
Maybe we're Padawans, so we're like lightly force sensitive.
You're looking for like a front.
I want a front row seat to the fight.
To the stories, yeah. And I'm like, I need a campfire and a marshmallow.
Well, no one else is really on Mustafar. Anakin killed everyone.
Yeah, but
until
then
Palpatine shows up. But Obi-Wan gets out of there.
If Yoda's boring, what are you going to do on Mustafar? There's like creatures that live there that'll kill you. They're like savages.
It's only 48 hours. So would you spend 48 hours with Yoda on Dagobah?
Oh yeah, I'll do that again. Yeah.
Okay. It's only 48 hours.
Yeah.
And then you can be like, all right, man, thanks, I'm out of here.
I'll come back to Idaho for the other stuff I wanted.
I know. I've never heard of that planet. All right. So yeah, next and final Star Wars topic is a little truth about the Death Star. So this question famously came up from Kevin Smith's Clerks film, 94. And he said, what about all the independent contractors working on that thing? Roofers, plumbers, electricians? So it is estimated that 2.1 million people died on the Death Star, right? And this is like this big celebration of the rebellion. They finally defeated the Empire. But the estimated crew and personnel has about 400,000 engineers, support staff, and stormtroopers. And then there's like 1.7 million military personnel total. So there's like that 400,000 that's like, just like he's saying, like, how many innocent people do you think that just were forced to have a job on the Death Star but don't even like support what's going on or like just do it for the money, just died that day. You know what I mean?
Or it's just so big, like they literally don't know what they're doing.
Right, yeah.
Have you
it's
heard
all a
of
cover-up.
Have you heard of the Red Rising books?
Mm-mm.
It's like these people are mining underneath the surface of Mars, like hundreds of thousands of people, and they're being told that they're going to create a civilization for the future, but there's a thriving, like super rich civilization above them because of all this mining they're doing, but they just live their whole life. Their kids are born in the
Oh my
mines.
God.
It just sounds just like that. They would just transport them, like, Han Solo and them were like, holy shit, that's a moon. Like, they could easily fly them towards the Death Star, like, and not have them see. You end up on a space station. You don't know what's going on. You have no idea it's a weapon. So just the whole, like, everybody, the whole entire working crew, nobody knows.
Right.
That's crazy.
So it's like a big war crime, and where the rebellion speaks against violence and stuff, and they kind of, and they did it again. They blew up the second one, which probably had some like real independent contractors trying to get that thing finished in time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Did they dive into any of those numbers during Andor?
No.
Dude, see, like, there's so much to dive into with. I think Andor did such a good step in the right direction, like putting the boots on the ground of like the everyday kind of spy / even citizen, and like see how that corruption takes place and how the Empire is so evil, like why they need to be seriously stopped, like what they did to the civilization of Gondalore. Sounds like Lord of the Rings.
Gorman?
Yeah, the Gorman. All this stuff, and you could just dive into so much. That's why I'm welcome to more Skywalker era if it includes no Jedi or Sith. But I want ultimate Jedi and Sith outside, like Old Republic outside of that. Right. But you could dive into this cool corruption stuff and how they manipulated those numbers like you brought up. And like I said, Andor's a step in the right direction doing that kind of stuff. So you do some Lost Stars, do some whatever your piloting movie you got going on. You could just do a lot of cool stuff.
Do like an Office style show, but it's workers on the Death Star. And then like at the end of the season, it just blows up without like in the middle of a conversation or something.
Well, you know how Marvel, for example, is so good at blending genres, like a heist film for Ant-Man, or like a spy thriller for Winter Soldier, or like straight up comedy for Love and Thunder, apparently. No, but they blend genres. That would be the most genius, legendary thing to pull off an actual Office-style comedy in the Death Star for the Star Wars franchise. If they pulled that off, dude, it would be something that no one wanted or expected or asked for, but it would just be so awesome. All right, well, that wraps it up for Star Wars, and basically 2 more topics. We're going to go with top 5 action movies of all time. Honestly, just talking about a ton of action movies from our past. Sorry, there's 3 topics. We're going to do a what-if scenario, kind of a would you rather, actually, with 2 different scenarios of movies that I'm going to present to Lub. And I said 3 topics, and I'll just get rid of the quick one first. That doesn't have to do with action movies, but I'm just curious, real quick, Lub, what your classic favorite video games were, like pre-Xbox 360, pre-PlayStation 3. We're talking maybe even Nintendo 64 or GameCube or Game Boy, like anything. Like, what were you growing up with playing?
The first console I got I played a lot of Spyro. Remember Spyro back in the day? Played that a lot. Crash Bandicoot. Gosh, there was this PC game I had as a kid. I can never remember what it was. I think you were some type of like detective, but it was like early 90s PC game. And there was another early 90s PC game I played where you like, I can't even remember. Me and my sister played it all the time. You were like, it was like a Resident Evil style game or something like that.
Dude, like, tell me it wasn't Duke Nukem.
I don't know. Is that
okay?
Is that what it?
It's a I think it's very Resident. The second you said PC game, I was not going to bring this game up, but it was very impactful. And there was a game called Duke Nukem on the PC, and I think it was Resident Evil style, but you were running around the map killing monsters and sometimes swimming and picking up new guns. I mean, it sounds like every other fucking game, but I absolutely loved it as a kid. I thought it was so cool that you could swim in the first place. You would swim under a building and pop up and keep killing monsters. It was scary and exciting. It was like one of the best.
Right.
I wonder if it's the same game. You'll have to look it up and see the imagery.
Duke Nukem?
Yeah. I was also Super Nintendo. It was Yoshi for me, dude. Yoshi was my big time shit on Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And then after that, didn't do a lot of GameCube. Oh, no. Super Smash Brothers, of course. Like, to this day and from back then. Super Smash Brothers. And then Pokemon Crystal. Like, hands down, probably my single most nostalgic game ever. Could definitely play it and enjoy it to this day.
There we go.
And then you get into the first series of Xbox, but Need for Speed Underground? No, not Need for Speed. That was too late. Need for Speed Most Wanted, where you could be a cop and you could send in the helicopters and you could send in the spike strips.
Yeah.
And even the racing was so sick, it made me fall in love with cars at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Third, fourth, fifth grade, I loved cars, had like Lamborghinis on my wall. And it's because at that time, the first Xbox, those graphics seemed so revolutionary. And like these cars had like the reflection of the sun in them, damage to them when you hit the bumpers and stuff like that.
Right.
So that was Need for Speed. That was a good one too.
Well, I got an Xbox with Halo for Christmas when I was like
of course.
9 years old.
Halo. I loved Tony Hawk Underground. A lot of hours. Max Payne.
Dude, Max Payne.
Loved Max Payne.
True Crimes of L.A. Remember that one?
Never did it.
Okay. Yeah, you were a cop.
Did you ever play Shadow Tactics? It's actually a more modern, but it's like a strategy game. I'm not going to get into it. No one likes it. I think it's so fun. It's like you go around killing people sneakily, but it's formatted strangely. It's kind of like a mix of a modern game mixed with literally like kind of a board game. It doesn't move like a board game. It moves fresh and normal, but it's kind of oriented like a board game mixed with a... Anyway, okay. I love it. Very addicting. Anyways, all right, let's get into the top 5 action movies of all time. And, yeah, man, it could be modern, it could be old, but it could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 50. But what are some of your favorite action movies?
Some of my favorite... I do have a couple... So when you say action, you're thinking like
more context. We're not doing nerd movies. We're staying out of franchises. Right. I mean, even Alien and Predator, I was like going to mention them, I guess, but of course those are some of the best action movies. And just focusing on more of like just the best action choreography, like action packed movies, not like the best movie period that's an action film kind of, but just
right.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like Blade Runner 2049 is a good action movie, but it's not like, it's more like sci-fi than action. So that's not on my list. But, and I also, another one I put is on the OLI is Sicario. I know that's like more gun action, but like there's some like pretty intense scenes in that movie.
Yep.
Another one, Everything Everywhere All at Once. There's some pretty crazy fight scenes in that one. Need to watch that again. And then for the top 5, this isn't, the definitive list. These are the 5 I thought of. You see Monkey Man?
No.
It came out like last year. So this isn't really in my top 5, but I want to talk about it. It's with Dev Patel, the guy who was in The Green Knight too. But it's like John Wick style action scenes, but like brutal hand-to-hand combat. And then I did put John Wick on there. You got to throw John Wick on there. Pretty fucking crazy shit with Keanu Reeves. And then for the top 3 here, I put Hero. You ever seen Hero with Jet Li?
No. Oh, I've heard of it though.
Man, it's so good. It's like him going to the king, and then they're like telling it, like goes back in time and tells the story of him getting there and all the duels he went through to get there. It's in Japanese.
That sounds sick.
It's crazy.
Subtitles?
And Kingsman, the first one. Just the church scene is like an all-timer. So insane.
Yeah. It's just nonstop, like really good entertainment action.
And then number 1 is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. If you want to talk about sword play in a movie, there is nothing better than that.
I still haven't seen it, and I've always wanted to for some reason. Even as a kid, I remember wanting to watch that movie.
Yeah, it's better as an adult for sure.
Okay. Have you ever seen Ninja Assassin?
Who's in it?
I couldn't tell you, like no one familiar. It is all done in English. I am not, maybe as a kid it was dubbed and I watched it, but I almost want to say it was like shot in English, but I just noticed it on HBO Max, and I'm telling you, dude, you have to watch this movie. It's like the most high-octane action, non-stop, violent ninja action ever. It's so satisfying. I haven't seen it in years, so hopefully that holds up, but it'll at the very least be very entertaining and full of shit.
26% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, fuck them.
Give it the 10-minute rule if you don't like it.
Right.
Okay, now we're going back. Way different. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando. Did you ever watch that?
Probably as a kid, but not in a long time.
That's more nostalgia. I'm sure this is not a great movie. Out of all the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, though, Commando was my shit as a kid. Aside from, obviously, Terminator.
Yeah.
And he was in Predator, too, my God. Okay, but actual top 5 stuff for me. Shooter, Mark Wahlberg.
Uh-huh.
Dude, so good.
The movie.
Still watch it, has the corruption aspect, has the tense drama. Absolutely loved it. Con Air, which isn't actually not, it's more of a drama, but
Okay.
you've seen it though, yeah? Incredible. The Equalizer movies?
Denzel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, those are pretty good too. What about what about Dwayne Johnson? What about the old Walking Tall movie?
Hey.
Yeah, I still think it's probably his like most genuine like good movie.
What was the other one right after that?
Was
Walking
it
Tall and
with Sean William Scott? The
Yeah.
Rundown?
Rundown. Rundown's
That's fun
good
too.
I like Rundown too.
That's fun. And then do you remember the Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans movies?
Yeah, they were kind of dumb, but they were fun.
I remember the first one being dumb, but the second one, is that the one where they started bringing the Titans down? It went all slow motion and he got that magical arrow. They did
Yeah.
way different stuff. The second one was, I think, way cooler. And I remember
Huh.
I put it on this list. Whatever one was, it got more mystical fantasy,
Okay.
which isn't that kind of, it wasn't that the Odyssey. Is that not the Odyssey story kind of, or no?
It might be similar. Yeah, there might be some Titans in that one.
Like the journey? I wonder if it is. Anyway.
I didn't say 300. 300 would definitely be on my list.
Oh yeah, I can't believe we didn't think of 300, dude. But I still have trouble with all the slow motion.
That's
it's-
your boy. Come on.
That's not my boy. What's
Zack Snyder?
I like BVS more than most. I like just
Man of Steel?
Yeah, but I think Dave and you might even like it more than me. I like it quite a bit, but it's not like up there. Zack, I'm not a huge Zack Snyder fan. I promise you. I just think
Yeah.
he
He
had
has
a
it.
good,
He
he had a
has
really
his
good
ways.
vision for his DC thing, and it was just completely ruined by franchise overlord shit.
Yeah, Rebel Moon didn't go very well either.
Yeah, Rebel Moon sucked. What else did he do? I never
Army of the
rewatched
Dead?
it. Yeah, it's okay.
No, it's alright.
Yeah. Anyway, have you ever seen Undisputed 2 specifically?
Uh-uh.
Oh, dude, it has that one dude. Oh, I wish I knew his name. I'll just look it up. But he was also the guy in The Dark Knight that was like, I'm going to offer $100 million whoever kills this clown. And
Oh,
the
Michael
Joker.
J. White?
Yeah. I remember this movie being like one of the most action-packed. Like, it was absolutely my favorite as a kid. Very violent, very rated R, but very satisfying. Like, the bad guys really get what they deserve kind of movie.
That reminded me, Never Back Down.
Yeah!
That's a good movie.
That is a good movie. Yeah, Fight Club, obviously.
Of course.
Okay, what about Jason Statham? Like, what's the best Jason Statham movie? And what's the best Arnold Schwarzenegger movie if it's not Terminator or Predator?
What's the Christmas one he did?
Jingle All the Way. Not a bad
Or
flick.
Kindergarten Cop.
Man. Fast Five is actually a pretty solid action film.
I mean, my favorite Arnold movie is probably Batman and Robin.
Oh my god. I only thought of that because you said The Babysitter. I thought of Pacifier. My brain led to Vin Diesel, and that led to Fast Five action. What about Arnold Schwarzenegger? What about Collateral Damage? You ever see that one?
Uh-uh.
Dude, I don't know. I was a kid, and I would rent Arnold Schwarzenegger movies over and over. I'd just go return them and get a new
Oh,
one. So
yeah.
I've seen all the Arnold movies. But Commando is the shit, dude. Commando.
He has some good ones.
Okay, then Statham. Which one's the best Statham's movie? He's got a lot. And they're all
he
the same.
plays, and they're all the same. I haven't watched a Jason Statham movie in years.
Me neither. I'm over
What's
it.
the Crack? Or Crank?
Oh, that one was good. He had to shoot himself up to survive.
Uh-huh.
That was good. That was fun.
It was fun. Oh, The Transporter? That was in a classic one.
That's what I got. That's my favorite Statham movie.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Taken. Not Statham, but remember Taken with Liam Neeson?
of course.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
It's funny how all these people are in the Expendables.
that's funny. Expendables is going to come up here in a second, but before that, I did want to ask you about Rambo. You like the original Rambo, I'm sure, yeah?
Mm-hmm. It's been, haven't seen it in a long time. I'm
Yeah.
a Rambo expert, but
Me neither. But what about the reboot Rambo? They did 2 or 3.
mm-hmm.
You saw none of the reboots?
No.
Oh, dude. You absolutely have to watch like the first reboot.
Stallone still kills it?
It's not as good of a movie, but it is so brutal. and they start the movie off with making you hate the villains so much. Like, they just do bad things. But the best part about the movie is there's not a single movie where you get such satisfying revenge like than this movie. It is so brutally satisfying at the end that you're just like so happy. Like, all those assholes get what they deserve, and you gotta watch it, dude, just for the pleasure of the satisfying revenge. And they like really hold no punches. They get really gnarly with the revenge kills.
Good.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, we'll wrap it up here with one last question. I'll do a hypothetical scenario. I'm going to offer you 2 movies. Wait for the ending cliffhanger to make your decision. And let's just say the studio comes out and they say they know that they've done a bunch of reboots for these movies, a bunch of stinkers, but they're going all in on the writing, directing to make a good movie, not just violence and fun. They're taking this seriously, and let's just assume they're going to come out and be great movies, whatever they're offering. So, which movie would you rather see? So we're going to start with a new Rambo origin that ends with a Predator trio laser pointed at Rambo's head crossover. Or a new Expendables reboot. By the way, you liked the first Expendables?
Yeah, it was decent.
It's fun, right? Did you see the other ones?
No.
Okay, me neither. I liked that one. So anyway, so new Expendables reboot. Again, we're just going to assume it's great. Pick your cast even. The whole cast. Because that is a killer cast. You can't lie.
A little old, but killer
Now
cast.
they are. That's what I'm saying. Pick your cast. It's going to have, Channing Tatum and the Dune King. So you choose the cast, but this ends with John Wick assassinating one of the morally questionable members at the end. Crossover.
Setting up a sequel.
Yeah.
Expendables v. John Wick. And then there'll be a third one where it's Expendables X John Wick, and they team up together against Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, like Mr. Freeze version of like a man.
Expendables or Rambo with Predator.
Which honestly, that's just pretty much Predator 1. If it's Arnold Schwarzenegger or Rambo, it's the same.
Right. I think I'd pick the Expendables because if you get a new, younger cast, maybe like a Michael B. Jordan, you could do Channing Tatum. Who's another couple? Jeremy Allen White. Maybe a Jeremy from the Bear.
Yeah, dude. No, put Frank Grillo. Get a couple old guys. Frank Grillo.
Yeah, true.
Put John Bernthal in there.
Dude, yeah, John Bernthal. There you go.
Yeah, dude. I think, all right, we got to do next Nerd Therapy. We're going to assemble our best team of Expendables, I think. That'd be fun.
So, yeah, we'll have to have like how we did for the heist. Like, you know, the muscle.
Yeah.
The brains.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that
sharpshooter.
You probably want Batista or Dwayne. Actually, I don't want Batista. No, they're not good enough actors to the core. Batista, actually, I think is a better actor than Dwayne Johnson.
Put Batista in there. Batista and John Bernthal as the older guys.
Well, John Cena's got to go in there now, too. No, I think about it. He's like, you know, the Expendables always kind of choose the hot actors at the moment.
That's true.
Or old, depending, the hot old ones, depending on how you look on it, what era. Want to think of one more before I wrap it up? One more good action dude? I don't know, I got nothing. Miles Teller. Throw Miles Teller and Glenn Powell in there.
There we go. Couple hotties.
Yeah. All right, well, that wraps it up.
Wait, what?
Fuck, what was the Michael reference? Oh, he's so hot. He's just so hot. What? What do you mean? He's talking about Ryan. Anyway, yes, sir, that wraps it up. So we are at Why So Sidious Pod. We got a link in our description, right? And you can find shirts and hats and stuff in there. Help support the show. Yeah, check us out. We're going to be doing our normal coverage, covering nerd news, and Superman's coming up. So we're going to be doing a couple comics for that. And yeah, and there's actually a lot of good nerd news coming out with Doomsday and juicy stuff coming out. So look out for our next Week in Geek. Caleb, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me. Man, you're just so beautiful. Your presence is always welcome at my house, in my bed, at late night. Anyway, we'll wrap it up here. Me and Love have things to do. Thanks for tuning in, and goodbye.